What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, and in today's video, going over Week 10's GPP plays. So if you guys are looking for the safer kind of projected price per dollar point, where ownership's going to be, all that stuff, go and check out my cash video. This is more riskier plays, but with upside. So at the quarterback position, Matt Stafford at 6,500 against the 49ers. We saw the game earlier in the season. 29.6 out of Stafford. Granted, that was in a showdown. It wasn't on a Sunday slate. And now we get Matt Stafford in a better matchup. San Fran's had a lot more injuries since then. It seems the Rams want to find success in the pass game. They're very efficient when they get in the red zone now with Davante Adams. That's kind of how they're using Davante. Kyren, it just hasn't been the same Kyren that we've seen in years past. So Matt Stafford at 6,500 in this matchup, I definitely like it. Definitely like the Rams offense against just a very, very, I won't even say bad defense, because I think Salah's defense is good. It's just they're so hurt. There's so many injuries on that defense. So Matt Stafford at 6,500 is one of the easiest first names I want to talk about. One game that I do think could be one of the best games on the slate is New England and Tampa Bay. So both Drake May and Baker Mayfield. We've seen what these guys are capable of. Drake May's been pretty damn consistent so far this season. I mean, the touchdown passes have been there. Gets the rushing upside as well. And you look at Baker Mayfield, and it's almost the same thing. It's just Drake May's had a lot more consistency. Baker's also dealing with some injuries. No Godwin, no Bucky yet again. But with Emeka Egbuka, Tez Johnson also picking it up, having a pretty solid year. It's still doable on both sides. So yes, in this one, I love this game. Obviously, we could see some good defense out of these teams. New England's secondary has been really good since Christian Gonzalez has been healthy. Really haven't gotten torched by the pass, but it is Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay offense. Like the game against New Orleans, it's just they didn't need to do an aggressive play style. They knew they were going to beat New Orleans. They just move the ball, run the ball. Don't do anything to get any of your star players hurt before the bye week. So now coming back from the bye week, we saw the game against Detroit, right? So Tampa Bay's last two games are definitely deceiving. So in this game, I do like both offenses in this one. I do think it could have the potential for a shootout. Caleb Williams, I see a lot of people talking about Caleb Williams, and I love Caleb Williams for this game. I will say to be cautious almost. One, the weather could be a factor in this one. It's supposed to be a colder one. Could snow. But the Giants have been really, really bad against the run, and now you're going to, I won't even say probably get both, because DeAndre Swift ended up as did not participate yesterday in practice. So if that's the case, like Kyle Monunga is in an amazing spot again against the Giants. But even then, this does seem like a game where the run game would be the benefactory of this game script. So I do think Caleb Williams is definitely playable at 6K. He's got the upside. The rushing is definitely there. Apparently the receiving is as well. But I do want to be cautious when targeting that one. Jared Goff at 5,900 on the road against Washington. I think this is a really, really good get back spot for Detroit. Honestly, like Jared Goff might not have the greatest tournament game, but with how Detroit got knocked off, just got beat by J.J. McCarthy at home at that. Washington dealing with a lot of injuries. Obviously, Jane Daniels, Luke McCaffrey are both out. Lattimore is also out for the year. So that Washington team has definitely taken some injuries. Even Terry McLaurin's out, but it's not like he's done much. So I really do like this Detroit passing attack. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, Laporta. I'm fine with either one. Sam Darnold, this one at 5,800 seems like a really, really solid play for tournament upside. You do have Jackson Dart, which is cheaper, which does seem to have a healthier game than Arizona and Seattle. Seattle's defense is just really... I think Seattle's defense is starting to lock it in. I mentioned early in the season, like, I'm going to hate targeting against Seattle's defense. kind of see what they've done the last few weeks. And they're holding opponents to under 20 points versus we saw some, higher scoring games. But still, even then, their defense has been pretty damn good. But we're talking about Sam Darnold, JSN, Sam Darnold, Rashid Shaheed. Arizona is down now 2 of their starting cornerbacks in this matchup. So I do love the passing attack for Seattle in this one. Like I said, if you want to pair up Darnold with JSN, obviously, JSN being a huge cash play, or throw in the new Seattle receiver in Shaheed because Seattle is dealing with some wide receiver injuries. And then going down, there are a couple people. Mac Jones again at 5K is playable at home against the Rams. I don't love this one as much, but I think he's playable. I'm going to go down to some real ugly names in this one. And we're going to go to my guy, Davis Mills. Davis Mills we're talking about. Against a Jacksonville defense, to where Jacksonville's defense has been a solid defense. And Houston's pass game has been terrible. There could easily be the scenario where Houston and Jacksonville, it's a low-scoring game, right? Vegas has it under a 40-point total, so it's ugly. But with Travis Hunter on the IR, Jordan Lewis is out. I do think the Houston pass attack can succeed. And Davis Mills at 4,500, I do not think it's crazy for Davis Mills to get you 16 points on this slate easy. 16, 17 points. I think very easily this guy could throw 200 yards and a touchdown. I think that's easily in the realm of getting you, at least 12, 13. But there is the potential to have a 2 passing touchdown game. You still have, right, like Christian Kirk is healthy. Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. The rookies, right? Hutchinson, like Houston. These are. I'm not trying to overhype these guys. By the way, I think these guys are capable of having good games. I'm not trying to like oversell Houston's very bad passing attack we've seen, but we've seen C.J. Stroud put up really. He's not putting up the greatest fantasy numbers, but like consistently throwing over 200 yards when he throws 2 touchdowns. Like he's getting you around the 14, 15. Points per game mark. So Davis Mills at 4,500, I think it's very, very easily in the realm that he gets you 15 or 16 points, which it doesn't, that's not the greatest thing, right? But when you're talking from a value perspective of what can open up the rest of your lineup on this slate, I think that's a great play. Dylan Gabriel, this one's ugly too. I get it. I get this one's ugly. But the Jets traded away 3 defensive pieces. I think it's a really good bounce back spot for Cleveland to have a good game, right? Their defense, even though they allowed 32 points against New England, Myles Garrett had a great game. If there is a good spot for Cleveland this season, this is one of the good games. This is one of the good games against this Jets defense that traded away 2 of their best players and then traded away another corner. So I think, yet again, the same thing for Mills. I think Dylan Gabriel, Jerry Jeudy, Dylan Gabriel, David Njoku, or Fannin, if Fannin's playing, like very, very, very realistic for Dylan Gabriel to get you 15 plus. And like I said, it's not the 15 points or like, what is 15 points to? That's not going to win anything crazy. It allows you to pay up at running back and wide receiver a lot more easier than getting Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Matt Stafford, getting any of these guys and then trying to pair it up. So I do want to shout out some of these cheap quarterbacks this week. I think they're in really healthy-ish game scripts. Obviously, there is the realm where they just suck, right? But we saw Mills have success before, and it wasn't the greatest success by all means. But we saw Mills be playable, right? It wasn't the some of the backup quarterback play that we've seen in the NFL. He has enough weapons to succeed. It's the same thing for Dylan Gabriel. Like Jerry Jeudy's had the worst season he's had in his NFL career, but you still have Jerry Jeudy. We know what he can be capable of sometimes. And double-headed tight end in Njoku and Fannin. Obviously, I love the running game, though, for Cleveland, which could take a big hit. But I think Dylan Gabriel could have a good game. Moving on to the running backs. Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs against Washington, easily could have a smash spot in this one. Like I said, Washington dealing with some injuries. Seeing Jahmyr Gibbs just come off the worst game he's had all season, and now is in a favorable spot against Washington, which the price is definitely concerning that DraftKings saw Jahmyr Gibbs get 5.8 in that one, and now against Washington, where like it's still around the same as defense, and his price didn't move. So that was definitely a hit there. James Cook. Obviously, Devon Achane is a cash play at running back, but James Cook should definitely be in the same talk. He did have a full practice yesterday, so it seems like he's good to go. So if you want to attack James Cook, if you want to attack Josh Allen, I think either one is fine in that game script. At the same time, I will mention Kyren Williams. Like, everything seems so good for the Rams passing attack. We saw Kyren Williams have a smash spot, but that was in the receiving aspect of this game, right? 8 for 66 and 2 touchdowns in that game, just from the receiving side. So Kyren, I think, could be playable again. Like, I want to have pieces in this Rams offense. If you're looking for leverage over Puka, over Stafford, over Devontae, Kyren Williams is kind of that guy to kind of fill in. Jordan Mason, I think, is worth mentioning at 6,200. Aaron Jones kind of banged up this week. We saw Jordan Mason have some type of success when Aaron Jones is out. Obviously, he had some duds as well in those games where JJ was the quarterback. When JJ wasn't the quarterback, had a little more success. So if Aaron Jones is in, don't probably love it as much, but if he's out, I definitely think Jordan Mason's in a really, really healthy spot there. Tyrone Tracy at 5,800. Bears dealing with even more defensive injuries. They're man, this sucks. I'm gonna say it, but our overpaid edge rusher just got out for the season. Obviously, the secondary injuries. Edwards is now out, so there's a lot of injuries, but 2 key players for that box for Chicago. So Tyrone Tracy at 5,800. Obviously, if you played him last week, you were burnt by him, but I think he's in a much healthier spot. I get Devin Singletary is right there with him, and had more rushing attempts, but I think this one is a really good bounce back spot for Tracy. Travion Henderson, yet again, I think is worth easily mentioning with Ramondre now out at 5,600. It's kind of the same thing. 12.7 didn't really kill you because he was 4,900, but obviously if he got that touchdown instead of Jennings, he smashed, and you were in a really, really good spot for his price point last week. Kyle Monangai, if DeAndre Swift is out, Kyle Monangai moves to a cash play, in my opinion, so just watch that one, but I think he's in a really good spot there. Ken Walker at 5,300. The running back room for Seattle has just been disgusting. But with the success Seattle should have in the passing game, I don't think it's crazy to see Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet, those guys combined for 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game. So getting Ken Walker at that price point of 5,300, I definitely think is fair, and definitely think is worth targeting. So other than that, there's not a whole lot right as of right now of guys that I'm targeting. Ray Davis was worth mentioning yesterday, but Cook did practice, so that one definitely changed. Wide receivers, Nico Collins at 6,700. We're getting Nico Collins at a very, very cheap price, right? People are going to be turned off that Mills is quarterback, but Mills was passing Nico Collins the ball, right? You have to also consider who they were playing. They were playing Denver. Like, it's not like they were playing a bad defense. They were playing one of the best defenses in the league last week. Nico Collins had a solid game. I won't say good or great or anything, but he had a solid game. Mills was still throwing him the ball. Like, it wasn't like Mills wasn't throwing. Mills was throwing him the ball. I do like Nico Collins in this one, right? I think Houston can easily move the ball against Jacksonville. Obviously, the total is low. Houston hasn't had the most success passing the ball this season, but I do want to get exposure to Nico. He has the potential to get you 20, 30 plus points anytime. It's just the efficiency has to be there. I think in the realm, I'm okay with targeting that one. Chris Olave at 6,200. Obviously, I don't like that Chuck's his quarterback anymore. much rather have Spencer Rattler, who just, did what he thought was best for his career, and that's throwing the ball a lot, throwing the ball to Olave. So at 6,200, it's a steep price now, right? We're getting Olave at the most expensive somehow. I don't get that. But the potential for Chris Olave to get that 20 plus mark, which I don't think Olave is really going to be a ceiling player this season. I think if we get a couple 20 plus point games out of him, that's kind of ideal. But with Shaheed kind of dealt now, he is, it's him, Brandon Cooks, and then we just start naming some names. Obviously, the tight end room is the tight end room, but for wide receivers, yeah. Rome Odunze, I think Rome Odunze's in a really good spot as well. The Giants still dealing with some secondary issues. Just saw him come off a 0 point game in this one. I think it's a really good bounce back spot for Rome Odunze as well. I did want to mention Deebo Samuel in case I did mention him yesterday at 5,600. I'm fine with Deebo Samuel in this matchup. Is a nice run back piece if you want to, target Jared Goff and Amon-Ra, or Jared Goff, Laporta, or if, you want to go Jahmyr Gibbs on one side, say he's going to have success, so Washington's going to throw the ball, and we go Deebo Samuel. Definitely fine with that one as well. Wan'Dale Robinson, yet again, in a really good spot, 5,300 against the Bears. I think he's a really good stack option again for Jackson Dart. Obviously, these points really haven't helped you a whole lot, but 23 targets in 2 of the 3 games is ridiculous. So the yardage just has to come there. He has a really low ADOT, but if he could ever break out for a big play, the success can easily be there. Rashid Shaheed at 5,200. I think, yet again, they brought him in for a reason. He's in a really good spot against, like I said, for JSN. Arizona's missing 2 corners. The wide receiver room for Seattle, we could just click it here really quick and kind of show you guys because I know the players will be cheaper. But yeah, Bobo out, Young out, Horton doubtful, Cooper Kupp still banged up. So Shaheed should play in this one and play a good amount. So this price point 5,200. Yet again, it's not crazy to say that he can get a one play 60-yard touchdown and pay off. J-Mo at 4,900 against Washington, kind of same thing that I like Amon-Ra for. I think J-Mo's going to start to be more utilized consistently, right? Obviously, the game against Tampa Bay, just nothing. And he did himself a huge favor because after the bye, hey, they use J-Mo, scores a touchdown, has a really good game. I think it's another good bounce back spot for J-Mo. When I say bounce back, Jameson Williams started the season at 5,500, moved up to 59, went down to 46. I think that was a showdown price though. But 4,800, now he's 4,900. So saw him go down almost 1,000 from the peak of Jameson Williams. So I think he's in a fair spot there. Parker Washington, yet again, with the injuries to Jacksonville and now Hunter Long, their backup tight end is out. So they're down, top 2 receivers. They're down top 2 tight ends. A Houston secondary that's really good. The Houston defense is really good. But if someone could have a good game, it could be Parker Washington. Saw what he did week 3 against Houston. But that's with some other wide receivers that were healthier, and they're not healthy. So continue to go down. Tez Johnson at 4,500 is playable now that we have confirmation that Chris Godwin is out, Bucky Irving's out. Tez Johnson's been a solid piece for Tampa Bay. I think the connection between Baker and Tez Johnson has been a solid one as well. We've seen kind of the dip from Emeka Buka from being, a fantasy stud to kind of balancing out a lot more. And Tez Johnson has definitely been a beneficiary of that. He also is going up in price. He's now at 4,500 in this one. But I think he definitely should see less of Christian Gonzalez in this matchup. So I do like him in that. Kendrick Bourne, if you want to get a leverage play over Juwan Jennings for $100 cheaper, Kendrick Bourne, who had his really good game against the Rams when we saw them play last. I don't think I missed him, and I don't want to miss him. So he's here. 4,100 Christian Kirk against Jacksonville with Lewis out. I definitely think Kirk's in a really good spot. I think he's a good stack option for Mills. But Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte is out. Um, I think Demario Douglas is starting to get utilized a little more lately. And with Booty out, that just means the ball can be passed to other spots. So Stephon Diggs, Demario Douglas, definitely going to see the excess targets. I want to say, I feel like New England's still going to run the ball a good amount. They're not going to throw the ball a lot unless Tampa Bay comes out hot and has a big lead. So I don't want to say an excess amount of targets, but with Booty out, he should see a few more targets in this one. So, yeah. Moving on to tight ends. A lot of those guys are just punt options at wide receiver when we really get down to it. But at tight end, Cade Otton at 3,900. I think he's in a really good spot going against a defense that is just terrible against tight ends. Just saw Kyle Pitts have a really good game against them. So Cade Otton, definitely think we're targeting that one. Theo Johnson, 3,800. Yet again, he paid off for people, in my opinion, if you played him. It wasn't the greatest thing, but I do think he paid off. Now he goes against a Bears defense that's pretty bad against tight ends, but just lost one of their starting linebackers. Like I said, the injuries on the Bears defense has taken a hit. I think Theo Johnson only getting priced up a few $100 at this game, I think is definitely worth targeting. Dalton Schultz at 3,600. I mean, I think Dalton Schultz is in a really good spot as well. Seeing him at a pretty cheap price, in my opinion, for what he's done this season. I've seen some guys get priced up for less. So Dalton Schultz, I think, is in a really good spot. Obviously, tight ends usually see a plus in targets when the backup comes in, just because he's a short depth target. Gets pressured, kind of gets spooked, and they just go to the tight end. So Dalton Schultz definitely a like in that one as well. And then Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, I think both these guys are worth targeting again against this Minnesota defense. Obviously, when Lamar's in, they have the potential for a 15-plus game. If I'm looking at anybody, it's probably Mark Andrews again. Granted, Isaiah Likely had a really good game last week. Mark Andrews just saw the 2 touchdowns, but I think they're both in really good spots as well. David Njoku, I mentioned if Fannin is out, he's a cash play. Fannin might be in, but I still like Njoku in this one. And then going down, I do want to go to Jacksonville. Johnny Mundt at 2,500. Hunter Long out, Strange out. He would be the pass-catching tight end in this one. It is a tough matchup, but he is a punt option at 2,500, kind of being the starting tight end there. So definitely just wanted to mention that, just getting a Stone Min tight end. And then defenses, it kind of the same thing as always. So let's go and let's do a line in this one. So let's go. Who do we want to target against? Let's go with the Browns again. At tight end, let's go different. Let's go quarterback. Let's see what we could build off of. Let's go with a Mills and see the lineup that we could build off of this. And this is just tournament. I don't want to get any of the cash plays in. Just want to get tournament guys. So let's get Kyron as well. Let's go with a cheaper running back as well. Let's go Travion Henderson with Stevenson out. Wide receivers, if we're playing Mills, we're going to play Nico. See a name that we could get in here. Let's go Wandell. I think that could be a cheaper piece for us to kind of add. We're going to pay down at tight end. So let's go like a Cade Otton at that. And then we could definitely pay up for somebody. So let's see some of the big names. Let's go with a... I don't want to go a cash play, so let's just go totally different. Let's throw James Cook in there, and then we have 7,000. He's more high owned, but we'll just We'll take K-Dot now because I don't want to have a double tight. So we'll put Theo Johnson. There we go. So yet again, this is a GPP build. This is just, hey, guys that I like that are going to be lower owned and have that potential. So we pay up for Kyron, we pay up for Nico a little bit, we pay up for Mecca Buka, we pay up for James Cook, get a nice value in Theo Johnson, a double giant. So obviously I probably would pivot off somebody, kind of change this up and only get one giant because it doesn't make sense to have two giants pass catchers and not have Jackson Dart. So but then Davis Mills with Nico, we could easily switch one of these guys out. Like I said, we could switch off of like a Wandell and put a we could still even just do this and put Dalton Schultz. That way we have a double Houston stack. No run back, unfortunately, but double Houston stack. So do something like that. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope this did help. Yet again, thank you guys for the support. Hope you guys have a nice, good DFS Sunday. I will be live before the games go. And we do have a very early Germany game. So we get a lot of football tomorrow. Can't wait. So yet again, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.